Okay, a bit of an update. It's June, there's stuff been happening in the garden, but I've just not had time to give you guys an update, so let's very quickly do it. Where would you like to start? Shall we do greenhouse? So what's been happening? Well, I think the biggest thing that we probably want to talk about is I think the difference the new greenhouse has actually made. So for those of you who don't follow the blog and won't know the story of this, this is our new greenhouse. It's the first time I've had a proper glass greenhouse. For the last 7 years I've had a polycarbonate one that was only a few £100, but it did me the job. You know, at that point I wasn't sure if I was going to actually stick with the whole gardening thing, and it didn't break the bank, and it did brilliant. It let me do tomatoes and everything for years. So I now have this gorgeous, absolutely awesome glass rhino greenhouse. It is solid, built to last like you wouldn't believe, but here's the big difference. I just can't believe it. Everything has come on so much faster this year, and it feels more reliable. All of my seeds took this year, and if you watch back some of the videos from last year and the year before, I had a year where it was horrendous and I ended up having to buy all my plants because nothing took. This year it is amazing. So quick run through then. I have got my blue cherry tomatoes, that's what these two are, and I've got one on that side because I like these ones, they taste phenomenal. They're indigo blue berry tomatoes, I think they're called, but they're just beautiful, so I love them. I've already got some little tomatoes appearing on this one. I've also got a couple of San Marzanos. I'll turn the camera around. So that's these there, and looking awesome. Not quite as big. This is my big guy. I'll tell you about him in a minute. The other two aren't quite that big, but still I'm happy. I've got one that's not a bush. Everything else is a bush this year. I made that mistake. This one is my Marmans. I love my Marman tomatoes. They're ugly as sin. Huge, big, lumpy, really, really ugly things. But they taste phenomenal. Great on a burger and a sandwich, that type of stuff. And I've actually got a few going. Excellent. Have a look. So look at that. How awesome is that I've got some already? Hurrah! I've also got Sweet Millions. I grow these every year. I love these. These just give me so many gorgeous little red cherries, and again they're dead tasty. I've tried all different tomatoes over the years, so I stick with the ones that I know give me a decent crop and that taste good. I'm not interested if they're not tasty, because that's the point. I've also got my peppers going as usual. So peppers, I've got one chilli grow on the floor with peppers in it, and I've already got some peppers. Check it out, check it out. Apologies for the wiggly cat. I don't know why I wiggled the camera there and went check it out. Yeah. I've got a couple more peppers at the back and my jalapeno chili, doing great. And another one here, no peppers in it yet. Possibly because it's mugged by tomatoes, we'll see. However, I think it's possible to have too much success, and I say that because if I turn round, quad grow. You guys have seen my last couple of years, my story about this guy. I'm still not certain about it. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it in the greenhouse. Basically, it's huge. It's a bit too big, so I'm going to have to rethink things for next year. But I brought my herbs in on this year, and it's just been too much. So to give you an idea, this is what I cut off of this last night. Basically, that's about the 5th time now. I'm having to come in here every couple of weeks and just chop it right back, so you can see that there. But it's just too, everything's just growing too well, and it's all mugging each other and blocking out the light, and the poor oregano's really suffering. So I think next year I'm going to say, if any of you are thinking of doing this, do not grow parsley or marjoram or sage in your greenhouse. They like it too much and they mug everything. But this is my French tarragon. That is the most success I've ever had with tarragon, and I'm so chuffed, so that'll be staying in the greenhouse. So I have to come up with a plan of how I'm going to do this. Yeah, apart from my mad twirly sticks, These are new, so yeah, basically the idea of this is it's like string in that I can wrap the plant around it and the plant grows around, but it's also like the bamboo canes because I can attach it to a string to the top and it just keeps it nice and rigid and safe. So yeah, so that's the greenhouse. So I did a blog post recently, does it make a difference, glass or polycarbonate? And the answer is most definitely the glass one is winning. The polycarbonate was great, did me fantastic, but the glass one is so much better. Let's wander around the garden then. I never know whether to show you guys flowers and stuff. I don't know if you're interested in that or if you all just want to know about eaty things. Because I've got awesome bed. Again, some more of my twirly sticks. Foxgloves. This is my favourite little bit here. So everybody needs, we call it the situtery. That's a Scottish thing. It's somewhere you sit out, like in French. Funny, huh? But yeah, so that's my wee bit there, and I've got my wee bit of colour. I used to have lots of pots and herbs on here, but the pots were too small and the herbs really were not happy. So actually I moved, I've still got the pots, look, I've still got the coloured pots right down the bottom of the garden, because what we discovered was they worked great for alpines. So you can see that there, because it's a little pot and doesn't hold a lot of water, the alpines love them. So they're up there because it means we still get a splash of colour from the living room windows. What else? I'm guessing you're going to want to see the veggie beds. So beds. Doing really well. Strawberries. Now this bed, look at the state of it. This is the only one I haven't replaced. We built these two out of sort of old railway sleepers this year to replace the beds because they're all starting to fall apart. This one still had strawberries in it, so this one didn't get replaced. It will get replaced next year though. Look at this. Just gorgeousness. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Loads of strawberries. So happy. I was trying to think of an expression that's not the really rude Scottish one. I was going to say happy as a pig in shite. But yeah, so generally happy. Same again. Courgettes. This, normally I grow them. Oh, and I've got something to tell you about that. But this year I bought them in and I'm really not impressed at all. Normally when I grow them they'd be much bigger by now, so I think I'm going to go back to growing them myself next year. Like I say, it's about having space in the greenhouse. I just have to work that out. But there you go, courgettes. So there we go. I love these nets on the beds, they make life so much easier. But yeah, you remember back at the start I was saying carrots weren't really doing so awesome, so this year I tried growing the seedlings on in the greenhouse in a root trainer. And they're doing really well, so loads coming up, ready for harvest there. Beetroot's still a wee bit behind, but beetroot are always slow for us. And one mad bolted one I'll have to fix. So, I remembered something I wanted to tell you about in the greenhouse, so let's go do that. So, greenhouse, I wanted to tell you about this thing and I forgot, so let me show you. Those of you guys who follow us in the blog will know this story because we've been doing this since we started 7 years ago. Every year when I'm trying to do you guys updates about the plants, it's easier for me to talk about a plant, like if I give a plant a personality and we follow that plant. So every year we did Colin the courgette, and every year I would do photos and updates on Colin and how he was doing. Didn't do it last year, just because the courgettes the last couple of years haven't been great, but this year I decided rather than Colin the courgette, I'm going to do something different. As you guys know, Jim McCall from Beech Grove retired this year, and Jim was a massive inspiration to me. He's the guy that got me into gardening and got me to try growing tomatoes. So in honour of Jim this year, This guy is Jim the tomato plant. You can see, we even gave him a name tag. So there you go. So he's Jim the tomato plant, and when we do updates I'll be telling you about Jim the tomato and how he's doing. So just a wee daft thing for you to watch out for. But I think that's me. So in terms of a garden update, nothing exciting, but those of you who garden know that sometimes that's the case. It's not very exciting, you're just plodding away and getting things done. So hope that's been fun. I'm off for a coffee. See you guys.